Do me a favor, talk a little bit about how you balance your educational requirements with your athletic ones as you're going through school.
Lots of times when I was in college, people are always asking me, and in high school too, they're like, is it hard to do athletics and education and academics? Because obviously you're there to learn. You go to school to learn. You go to high school to learn. You go to college to learn. But a lot of people ask me, it was tough to be an athlete too. I actually found it was almost easier in a sense, having other activities, because what happens is I knew people that were just students that only were doing school stuff, and so when they're doing that, they're like, oh, I got that paper due, I'll do it next week, I'll do it later, whatever, and they end up not getting it done in time. But with athletes or people in the band or whatever, joining an organization, being in a sorority or fraternity or something, just having other activities going on, you are forced to stay on task, stay on track, and you have to have schedules and stuff. So whenever I started a school year, I'd get out a calendar and I'd write down when I had tests, when I had papers due and things like that. And then I also write down my meet dates, whenever I had competitions, whenever I had things to do. And so I always do well in advance. Okay, next week I'm going to be missing 3 days of school because I have to go to this competition. And so by doing that, I was able to go talk to my teachers ahead of time. I was able to go in, hey, so-and-so teacher, I'm going to be missing this class next week. Can I get my homework ahead of time? Let me know what I need to get turned in, and I'd be able to do it. And that usually worked a lot better than coming in the next week and being like, oh, I missed school last week because I was at a competition. Usually teachers are a lot cooler with missing class if you have an excuse and you talk to them beforehand and let them know that you're going to be gone. And I think that really helped me out a lot, just by keeping schedules, keeping on task, keeping focused on what you're doing. I think it made me a better student in a sense. It does take a lot of hard work, but you got to be willing to make sacrifices. And that's another thing that requires you to be successful in sports and life, is willingness to make sacrifices. Sometimes you're going to have to give up, watching TV or playing video games at night. You might have to give up going out to a movie with your friends or something. But in the long run, it's going to pay off. I had lots of times when I was in high school that I was disappointed that I missed out on. I didn't get to do certain things. But looking back, all the success I had and being able to go to the Olympic Games and getting a college scholarship and all these good things that came from it, easily pays up for missing a couple little things here or there when I was younger. And so, when you're approaching anything you're doing, always look at the long term. Where do you want to be down the road? What do you want to accomplish down the road? And that should help you out a lot.